Hello, hello, hello. Fireside chat ready to go. Got this cord in the way though. This is weird. Let me move that. I had to bring a light out here because I thought, uh, yeah, we're losing light. We're losing daylight. The sun's going down. As it gets later into the season, we'll have some more light out here, so we'll be good. Sally, good to see you. Elijah, we got the VIPs hanging out over on locals tonight too. What's up, VIPs? Gritter's in. Dina's here. Lots of folks joining in the chat. We appreciate you. Folks on Rumble, say hi. Let me know where you're watching from tonight. Let me know. Smash the like button. Hit share. Like we do during the actual show. We're going to do a sharing is caring share-a-thon tonight. We'll be able to give you something cool from inside the store. I started with, by the way, can you hear me and see me okay? Just making sure because we're testing out. I promise you we did a test. We did a test on this the other night, so so we should be good. But we're testing out new audio and video stuff. So just want to make sure you can hear me and see me good. But I started with the original I Need New Conspiracies tea. Mine have all come true. And as I was sitting out here just for a few minutes, I thought, it's already starting. It's it's already starting to get a little chilly. So I've got the One Nation Under God, taking it back, vintage hoodie out here. 5x5 Dana says, Shelly, yeah, good to see you tonight. Thank you for jumping on. And I think you're a newbie, aren't you? Shelly, did you just join in? I believe we got somebody new that jumped in this week, and I think that might be you. So thank you so much for jumping in. Lisa's in the house. Good to see you too tonight. Joseph's in Maine. Elijah's in Arizona. Mavis is in Kentucky. Good to see you guys. Brian's in Tennessee. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Still 72 degrees outside. Loving that. And I think what are we looking at here? It's a warm one today. I think we're like 60. Wait a minute. Yeah, the sun just popped down under the horizon back in this direction, if you can see it. Still beautiful out here. Or it's 66. That's it. It's happening. It's happening. Not only do we have a fireside chat happening right now, the first one of the season outside, which is awesome, but it's happening. Like, we have some big things happening and some stuff that we really haven't gotten a chance to dive into big on the show just yet. And I'm hoping, it's my hope tonight we'll be able to do some of that with you. Your chance to ask me anything. So if you want to do that, please, by all means, get your questions in. Let's see. Oh, look at that. I can condense. Boy, that is something. That is something. What a great day. Love the sun. You and me both. We're starting ignition procedures tonight. Not quite a mission to the moon, but we got enough fuel for it, it looks like here. I hope you don't mind, but I'm gonna have one of my favorite things to do sitting outside right now, being in nature. I'm gonna have a stick, an El Jefe. I think that's probably a good the Roma da Cuba, made by the Ashton folks. Um anyway. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Look at me. Jumping the gun here. I forgot to cut this thing. It's cut now. Let's fire that up. I think it's safe to say we have ignition. Jason, you can ask anything, and I don't care if it gets dangerous. Um, some of that is actually sort of the point. some of that is sort of the point on some of this. Good evening, deplorables, Michigan Joe's in the VIP over on Locals. By the way, no matter where you're watching tonight, we're going to get a chance to come over, jump in the VIP if you want. If you haven't done this yet, that's okay. If you'd like to, we'd love to have you in the VIP at some point as well. It's $9 a month to join us over on Locals, help support the show. You're going to get access to events like this. You get a deeper dive into the Ask Me Anything. You get Locals First, Locals Exclusives when we do content each day. When we send out the secret show prep, you'll get that. If you join for a month and you want to support, it's $9 a month. You do get a nice discount code. So if you want to go in and buy merch in the store, you can get stuff at a discount. Help fund the program and everything. They do truth, logic, and common sense, faith, family, freedom. That's the focus. If you're new here, say hey. But I definitely want to get into some of the things that are happening. It is happening. Let's get into that. Oh, by the way, if you want to join for a year over on Locals, I should probably mention you'll get a month free. justinbarclay.com/locals. And I'll send you a signed copy of my book, Good News, Hope, and Encouragement for Trying Times. That being said, drop your comments, questions, concerns, if any, complaints. Take a number inside wherever you're watching right now, and love to hear from you. Okay, that being said, let me see. One more to say hi to. Did we make it over on Rumble yet? I think we did. All right, here we go. Some interesting things are happening. I'll start to paint you a picture. Those of you that want to see arrests, have you noticed anything interesting lately? By the way, I'm included. If that crunching's too much for you, please let me know. I am I'm kind of addicted to the nugget ice. I love the nugget ice. One of the things that we've heard quite a bit about, and it's funny because this stuff just popped up in my memories from last year at this time. I was in DC, RFK Jr. hanging out. We had the first 100 days full speed, the first 100 days with the Trump administration. We got a chance to go to the White House. Got a chance to talk to, at that point, I think we interviewed Kristi Noem, a couple other folks from the administration. I bumped into RFK on the street. We had a good first 100 days, and they were full speed ahead, doing lots of different things. So that was interesting to see my my memories there and that pop up. As you know, it's been an interesting last year for a number of reasons. Now, if you're like me, you like some things. If you're like me, you're thinking, yeah, we could have done some things better. But if you're like Tucker, I guess you would have rather had Kamala. I don't know. I know I'm kind of joking. I like Tucker, but it's interesting because there has been a bit of frustration, and I understand it. I'm included in some of that, by the way. So one of the things that folks want to see more of is accountability. We want to see the arrests. We want to see those happen immediately, if not sooner, right? I get it. Patience is a virtue. It is a fruit of the spirit. And sometimes it's tough to watch some of the things that we've been watching and then wonder, like, okay, when are we going to see, when are they going to put Fauci in an orange jumpsuit and handcuffs? Hello. Raven Day in Muskegon. Good to see you, Raven. I appreciate you saying hi over on Rumble tonight. Thank you so much. So when I say it's happening, I guess I have to make this point and just ask, have you seen the dominoes start to line up? What do I mean by this? They just announced yesterday, I think it was an 11 count indictment, the Southern Poverty Law Center. This is a massive first step. This is an organization that has been behind the scenes, at least it appears, if you heard our conversation today, um, along with James Dixon. If you haven't, it's up on the podcast and it's all these different places we're streaming tonight. There is another piece in there that you're going to be excited about. You go back and watch this. The Southern Poverty Law Center, 11 count indictment. Kash Patel and the acting attorney general, Todd Blanche, announcing that yesterday. And this, like when you're playing Jenga or a house of cards, but I think Jenga's this is probably the best description. And you're going in there and you're pulling little pieces out of the Jenga. That's what we're watching. Little pieces are being pulled out. This might just be the first little piece. Wildwood Homesteader on X says dominoes have been in place for years, but it's a trickle. It's a trickle until Trump's out. I think we're about to see that trickle turn into a massive waterfall. And somebody today gave me this analogy. I'll have to give him credit for it coming up here in a little bit, but he gave me this beautiful analogy, and I thought to myself, gosh, that really lines up. So when you start to build the webs of connection, who and what are we looking at? With the Southern Poverty Law Center, we're looking the money that they had. We're talking about millions of dollars that went to fund things like the KKK. What? We now know they may have funded Charlottesville. Now, Charlottesville is important because you remember they used Charlottesville to build the case that Trump was racist. Remember the good people on both sides, fine people on both sides. They used that to go in and start fundraising like crazy and then start connecting the dots into these other places. One of the things that we discussed today here in Michigan is our current Secretary of State has connections to the Southern Poverty Law Center. Not only did she work for them at some point, but she was also on the board. And James said today, during the time that all of this was going down, she's running for governor here. How much of that is going to end up coming back to bite her? I think it's a great question. Jocelyn Benson, TikTok. Now it's not just Jocelyn Benson, but the money came pouring in from all over, and got distributed all over to lots of different places. One of the things we're finding out, and I saw somebody mention this today on X. I don't remember who it was. Matt Walsh, maybe. Matt said, it's going to be interesting. Just like they were trying to push people to the forefront, push people to the top in these radical ways with some of these groups that they were pushing and funding. He said, how many of you would be surprised to find out the influencers that were getting money from the Southern Poverty Law Group, whether they realized it or not? And what were they pushing those people to do? Were they pushing them to become more extreme? Did they want to, for some reason, push that element, that narrative, so that people looked at Republicans or conservatives and said, those people are nuts? That's fascinating, isn't it? How many influencers? And I'm just curious, who do you think these influencers are? Maybe on an extreme nature, who were pushed, funded, um, propelled forward into your algorithm. Dad's guess is Harry Sisson. I did see that, Dana. Remind me, we're gonna have to talk about that a little bit later. The latest scientist slash NASA death. Boy, this thing is heating up. And there was a guy that died. They found today suicide too. It was really. I mean, these things are getting very strange. So yeah, remind me. I'll come back to that. But anyway, let's continue down this rabbit hole for a moment. So we're starting to kind of pull those Jenga pieces out, and I think it's just a matter of time before they all start to tip. We've got Southern Poverty Law Center over here. At the same time, we know, and that will be heard. That case will be heard in Alabama. If you like what you're hearing tonight, if you support this, if you want to get um, in the running to win some cool gear from the Justin store, make sure you share where you're watching tonight. I'll pick one person before the show is over, and we will give somebody something cool from the store. Or maybe I'll even do a couple. We'll see. Something else is going on. Joe diGenova just joined the fight the other day. He's the guy that helped take down crime bosses, mafia, mobster types in New York City. This is a big addition. What are they doing down in Florida? They're putting together this grand conspiracy case. They're tying things together. Joe diGenova is in that fight. Something quietly happened today that not a lot of people noticed. Devin Nunes. Do you remember Devin Nunes? He's the guy who was on the Intel. He's the chair of the Intel. He was deep in the fight on some of the Russia Gate and digging into the election. And Devin has been the head of Truth Social and that whole conglomerate. It's much more than Truth Social. Thank you, April. You rock. Thank you for sharing. Much appreciated. Um, Devin just stepped away from Truth Social, which you don't do if you're a CEO of a big social media company. You don't do that unless something is going on behind the scenes. There's some moves they're making. They don't like something he did, but that's not the case with Devin. Devin is a guy who's super loyal to Trump. He kind of knows where all the bodies have been buried. And I'll tell you, um, I think is coming back in to fulfill a certain role. Hang on one second. I'm looking to see what did I do? Where did I put that thing? I thought I had the clip for the. Is it over here? What did I do with that? Well, I thought I had the plug. I got a light out here. I got the plug for the light, and I was thinking maybe I'd plug this light in. I think we're going to be okay for now. You know, it's funny. I don't see the plug. The little clip thing that it's supposed to plug into. The heck? Did I put it in my pocket? No. Oh well. I bring this into focus because I want you to think about where we're headed. Um, I talked about this briefly last night when we tested this whole thing, this audio and everything. All right, I'm done looking. What if? There's a lot of you know, chat. There's a lot of commenting from the Monday morning quarterbacks right now. Tucker Carlson's of the world. And I love Tucker. Like I said, but man, what the heck happened to him? What happened? I mean, he's out there now saying, that, and this doesn't make much sense to me, but he's out there now saying he regrets campaigning for Trump. He regrets endorsing Trump. What does that mean? I mean, does that mean he would rather have Kamala Harris as the president right now, and all because of Iran? That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. There's some pieces that are funky, that are off there. And I know everybody has different opinions on different folks, and that's fine. I'm like I said, I like this guy. I don't know what happened to him, but what if right now we're marching toward this midterm, this election in November, and it doesn't look like, I don't know about you, but it doesn't look like it's going to be like some landslide victory. Even though Democrats aren't offering much more on the left right now. In fact, here in Michigan, they're kind of like, I don't know about you, been paying attention, but they're kind of cuckoo. They're in like wacko land, la la land, and they they aren't making the best choices. So, what if all the pieces start to come together just in time for the election in November? And what do I mean by that? Well, what are the big complaints right now? Well, we don't the war in Iran, we've heard some of this, what if the war in Iran gets settled out? What if Operation Epic Fury, what if it ends up that they've taken out, which we already know, the 50 big head leaders of the regime. Now we got the Ayatollah in there. We don't know what that guy's up to. We don't even know if he's still alive. He's in a coma, probably. He may not even be alive. We don't know. The All intents and purposes, from what we understand, the military's been just eviscerated. And now you've got these little pot shots as they're trying to get these negotiations done. And again, I don't even know who they're talking to, but they're trying to get these negotiations done with whoever is still alive in there. And yet it seems as though there are elements of the IRGC who are intent on not letting this happen. They're hanging on to what little power they have in a decentralized way, almost sort of like little terrorist attacks, at least on the ships that we saw last night. What if they get this Strait of Hormuz worked out? What if they get peace? What if we get in there, get all that nuclear dust, and they get all that settled out? The people of Iran are free. What if that plays out in a way that you would not have expected? What if that all comes together? What if gas prices, because this all falls together, we've gone through Venezuela, we got the Panama Canal, Cuba may fall next. We've got Iran worked out. And what if gas prices, I don't know if you know this, but I'll play the clip tomorrow. I didn't get to it today. Scott Bessent, the Secretary of Treasury, says he believes gas prices are just going to collapse in the coming days. What if? What if arrests start to happen? What if we start to see the accountability? I know you're going to say this is pie in the sky. You're coping. This is no. I just wonder. What if all of these things start to finally fall into place? Now, like I said, you may say This is kind of like, this is a little, this is some hopeful, wishful thinking type of stuff here. Um, and I don't know how likely any of that is to happen. I don't either, but I don't know how likely it is that it doesn't happen. I think there's greater than 50% chance that those things do happen. One thing I will know, and if you've been paying attention the last 10 years or more, they have tried to count Trump out over and over and over and over again. Over and over and over and over again. And let me just tell you, it's never worked. It's never worked. So, a friend of mine today, and I got to give him credit for this because this was incredible. Uh, Somebody you'll be meeting it eventually at some point, little bit further out into the future. But a friend of mine today said he saw something that just shook him, and he said this was incredible. He said, "I watched a documentary on was it building some casino, something that Trump was building, and it had something to do with this ballroom that he wants to build." And man, this lit me up when he said this. He said, "There's something about design when you go into build," and Trump learned this a while back when he going to build casinos. So there's something about design, and it's a principle that when you walk into a space, you have like a condensed area, smaller area you walk into, and then as soon as you walk through, and then like in this ballroom that they're building, they have this grand area with the ceiling that's so far up and high. And you take a look around, and there's like this 3-second moment where you pause and you're just like overwhelmed. And it hit him. This guy's a pretty smart, insightful guy. He goes, it really, it hit me. He said, that's what's happened every time Trump's run. If you go back and you look back through the years, you always feel like you're in a moment that things are sort of condensed, and then all of a sudden you hit this moment where it all opens up and you see the big picture, and people are wowed. Right now, we're in the condensed moment. And I looked at them and I said, that's really interesting. Now, I don't know. Maybe I'm full of it. Maybe he's on to something. Hey, Chuck, good to see you, man. Chuck's watching over on YouTube, the tube. So, but that's the question. And it's a good one too, John, by the way. You know what? Let me see if I can put the chat on the screen tonight so you guys can see. Um, John says, you know, all the cards could fall into place, everything could work out great, but there are people that would still blame Trump. They'd still be against him. Well, I think there are a certain amount, TDS, et cetera, but there are some folks out there that I gotta wonder about, like that are kind of on our side, or they jump, you know, the ship and or the shark or whatever you want to say, right? And I gotta wonder, like, what happened to these people? Would they, if all of those things, all of their criticisms, if everything fell into place, would they concede? Would they go along? Really interesting. It's really interesting. So, something to think about. Because as this guy pointed out, in the design ideas that Trump loves to incorporate in his spaces that he builds and the things that he does, you go through this condensed point, then you open up and you hit the wow factor. And think about 2024. I think some of that was amplified by the attempt to take him out at Butler. I think it may have even happened a little quicker than what they planned and wanted to. But once that happened, it became clear this man was going to be the next president. He was going to be the president again. Now, think about all the things that they did to own that campaign. The McDonald's appearance, the trash truck, all those massive things that they did. It was, not even get me started on the debates. I mean, it was incredible. And also no coincidence that they attempted to take him out after that debate with Joe. Interesting. Anyway, just some food for thought. It's possible the Iran deal works out. It's possible the gas comes back to two. I don't know that these things are going to happen. I don't, but these things are possible. The gas comes back down. Affordability starts to level out. You start to see arrests, indictments. Now, these indictments take time. If they're working with grand juries, in fact, some of these people already know it. They've been subpoenaed. This has to go in front of a grand jury. The grand jury has to hear the information, and then they have to decide whether they're going to indict or not. Can you imagine? Anyway, I don't know. I don't know. All right. I'm taking this thing off the screen because it doesn't even look real to me. I just noticed. I look, somebody said you're playing a game or something. Great game. I've been watching for 2 hours. I just fall. I don't think those are real. And they used to show me like real comments. Hmm. I don't know. We'll give it a shot. I just hit something new. Maybe that worked. I don't know. I don't know if you can see that box or not. Anyway, think positive and pray. Well, let's talk about that prayer point. Yesterday, the president read from the Oval Office part of the Bible, Read the Bible Across America event. He read Second Chronicles chapter 7, believe it was verse 11 through 20 something. And in there, I think it's 14, 7:14, is the piece about if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves in prayer and turn to me and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, etc., then I will hear from them and heal their land. That was a big and I think a very prophetic moment we needed as a country. Right now, reading the Bible across the country has been very cool to watch anyway. But seeing the president, do you remember the last time a sitting president was reading the Bible in the Oval Office? It just doesn't happen. Anyway, I'm not saying all these things are going to happen. I don't have a crystal ball, you know. These aren't predictions. I just realized. I don't know. I just realized I've been willing to give him probably more benefit of the doubt. Part of the reason is they elected him to do the job, and I just believe he's here for such a time as this. I don't think there's anybody else that would be capable of taking this all of this on, particularly at the moment in time that he stepped in. So again, Iran comes under control. Strait of Hormuz is open, gas prices are down, affordability starts to level out. Interest rates come down, you got a new Fed chair coming in, the market explodes. Arrests start to happen, indictments. You see the grand conspiracy cases that are taking place and being put together down in Florida. Folks, we're on the timeline. We are in the condensed portion, and things are about to open up and get real. If these things are about to happen. I don't know. I don't know. Go ahead and click share tonight, though. Let folks know, especially somebody, chances are you know somebody who needs to hear this. There are some doom and gloomers, black pillars, chicken little sky is falling, folks, and I'm surprised we haven't seen any in the chat tonight. Maybe I missed them. But there are some folks that completely disagree with everything I'm saying right now. Hey, Jay Horto over on Rumble. Good to see you. Thanks for popping in tonight. Let us know where you're watching from. Click share, and if you do, somebody is going to win something cool from inside the Justin store. Inside the Justin store. Thank you for sharing tonight. Chuck, I've heard that too. He said all those empty ships will have to load to keep the pumps pumping, preventing shutdown damage. I've heard that too. And I've heard some back and forth on that. So I don't know how it falls entirely, but it does seem like that may, in fact, be the case. I will tell you this, the strait is opening up, and here's why I know. The leaders or whoever's left in Iran want it open. China wants it open. More importantly, Europe wants, the whole world wants that thing open. I think it's happening. I think it's happening. So if that's the case, and it appears as though it may in fact be, what does that mean? Where do we go from here? Well, that means your gas prices are going to be just falling through the floor at some point. I don't know how fast, but that alone would be enough to probably quiet a lot of the critics, a lot of the cynics. Not saying they won't find reasons to be upset. Chicken Little, skies falling, black pilled doom and gloomers. They always find a way. They're always looking for things to be upset. So these are some of the most miserable people. They walk around wanting to be miserable. Unfortunately, some people I love, like the Eeyore folks, they just like always have a cloud over the top. Um, they're always looking for what's wrong. Think about it. They go to a restaurant, they go out to eat. It's always a bad experience. They always hate it. When it rains, it pours, that type of thing. It's a mindset. It's a belief system. So It will be interesting. Brian says if it all does fall into place, will be interesting to see how MSM mainstream media reacts to and reports to it. Yeah. Um, it's my sense that they will move to something new. A Russia. I think it's have to be something to do with a scandal of investments or corruption, something along those lines that they're going to try and pin on Trump. But I don't think it sticks. Sean is like, hey, I'm waiting for my mug. How long should I expect to get to my place? Um, it is stuck in the Strait of Hormuz, Sean. Your mug specifically is stuck in the Strait of Hormuz. Maybe a while. Maybe a while. Just kidding. Sean won something. Was it last week or the week before? Anyway, I mentioned earlier this week that some of those things are going out. They've already started to go out. So yours, I would expect probably within the next week or so. If you have won something, it's on the way. Now, if you haven't won yet, make sure you click share and I'll try and see if I can get you something cool. Now, Sean's talking to us from over in the VIP. If you haven't joined yet, over on Locals in the VIP, love to have you inside of there. Come join us. I'm going to put the link up again. I've got some more stuff that I want to do for you. I want to dive deeper. Some ask me anything questions. If I didn't get to your question already, drop it in the chat real quick. I'll see if I can hammer it real quick. And then I'm gonna jump over and I'll dive a little bit deeper. Don't them cigars give you a buzz? Sherry says, no, I don't inhale the cigar. Now, if you're in a room that doesn't have a lot of good ventilation, sometimes that can happen, and that's not good. Good to see you, Kelly. How are you? Yes, the suicide scientist before you run out of time. Absolutely. I'm going to get to that. That'll be a locals conversation. Jason. Jason, it's 420. Wait a minute. Is today 422? So that does that mean you smoke twice the amount? Jason says he doesn't know the name of this weed, but it's powerfully chill. The best weed has no name. Are we going to find out the Democrats did it to them? Sherry, I don't know what that is, but chances are, yes, the Democrats are behind it. Oh yeah, Cindy, I think we're going to see something big. The grand conspiracy case will take down half of the Democrats. I think I think Devin Nunes is coming in to be a part of that. Does Florida have a good replacement for DeSantis? Byron Donalds. Byron Donalds. DeSantis, they're talking about bringing into the Trump administration. That'll be an interesting play. They have a couple of places they might be able to put him. Da, da, da. Oh, well, thank you, Wildwood Homesteader. Really, truly miss you on 9:10 a.m. during my morning drive. Well, I appreciate that. I don't miss getting up early in the morning, but I do miss a great radio station, the great city of Detroit. I love Trump, but I got to be able to criticize him from time to time. I don't agree with my wife on everything either. No, but Jason, you know what? You just nailed it, and you do it in an honest way, as far as I'm concerned. Everything I've always seen from you, it's not over the top, and you talk about policies, things that you do have an issue with. Um, and again, I don't agree with them on everything either, but I don't think there's anybody that was better suited to do the job. All right. Will the need to rapidly move oil from Cargill and create a large stockpile to push prices down sooner? It might. That's a good question. Holy cow, imagine that. Oh yeah. Oh, that's a fascinating take. I found the best way to turn down the haters is to turn off the TV and the phone. uh, Terry says Trump will be known as the president that saved the world in the history books. I think there's a good deal of possibility that when history looks back, they're going to look at this time and realize things were happening and we didn't realize. Yeah. I would like to see fake news media and senators and Congress people coming on TV uh, telling we are running out of ammo and Iran is winning. Pure propaganda should be illegal in this. It certainly feels like it. That's another thing I think you're going to see more of. Not just the Southern Poverty Law Group, but I believe you're going to see more of the organizations, media groups, and individuals who actually took money from places like Iran. I think you're going to see that at some point. I really do. All right. Still daylight here, Jason says. Yeah, I know. Well, the sun has officially gone down. I can see the moon right here. It's beautiful, kind of a crescent, and then there's like a little dot planet right underneath it, and I don't know what that is. Maybe somebody can tell us. But it's just perfect out here right now. I'm glad I didn't actually do the fire pit. Maybe I'll do that another night. It wasn't quite cold enough for that. DeSantis or JD 2028. How about this? DeSantis, JD, or Marco Rubio? Those are just a few of the options. I don't know what that'll look like. I won first fireside chat prize. Pretty sure my cup's at the bottom of the Hormuz Strait. Hey, Chuck. Wait a minute. Did you not get one either? Email me. Sally, I don't know if you know this, but Sally, you won today. And I don't think I saw an email from you yet. Sally, email me. You actually won on the actual show today. I sent a message on Facebook, but sometimes they don't come through. So email me, Justin at justinbarclay.com. That's a good one, April. All right, folks. I just heard something chirping behind me. I'm going to tell you something. Where I'm at, I saw a video that popped up today. In our area, they got a black bear on video, and then I'll pop over and tell the rest of this over on Locals. But they got a black bear came onto somebody's house. This lady, now this is something I wouldn't recommend, but she's got like a deck like me back here, and she's got a kind of like we have over here on the side where there's a bird feeder hanging, and she sees this thing on video. Her security camera catches it, but it's kind of dark. She goes, "Oh, that's a bear." She could tell kind of by the form of it. The bear was trying to get on the bird feeder and get the food out of the bird feeder. She showed the video to people, and they're like, "Oh, I don't know if that's a bear or not. I don't know." And she go, "Yeah, that's a bear." So you know what she did? I would not recommend this. She took and put the bird food, the seed, on the actual deck and not in the feeder. The bear came up the next night onto the deck, and she got the pretty big black bear caught on tape on the video, the security camera from her house. And that's not too far from where I'm at. Now, we've never had a bear in these parts. We get deer, I don't know, all through this woods here all the time. Every now and then we get some turkeys. I get chipmunks. Not so many this year because we're trapping them. What else do we get? Really cool woodpeckers. There's one the other day out here that sounded like a monkey. My girls were sitting out here with me and we are listening. It was like, It was like a wood. It was one of the big ones. Pileated woodpecker. Is that the one I'm thinking of? Um, all kinds of great birds. I have seen some bald eagles overhead once or twice, and the American geese. Just like the Gulf of America, we've claimed the American geese. They're no longer Canadian. 51st state geese. Bigfoot. Ah, I could not be sitting in the dark outside. That would spook me. You know what's really messed up? That's the woods behind me. I'm facing the house right now. I gotta wrap this up. You guys are starting to freak me out. Oh, raccoons. We've had raccoons too. We've had possums in this yard, and I think we got a woodchuck in the woodpile or a whistle pig. Bigfoot, no Bigfoot so far. All right, folks, heading over to locals. Pop in. I'm going to talk about those scientists for a little bit and answer any more questions you might have. Other than that, we'll see you tomorrow. Make it a great day. God bless. Sign up for the newsletter if you haven't done so yet. JustinBarclay.com. Let's stay in touch. Get the good news so you stay up to date. You don't fall prey to some of these wackos out there. All right. Make it a great night. God bless.